What if I told you that 95% of people chasing financial freedom are focused on the wrong number? They obsess over their salary, they obsess over the stock market, they refresh their brokerage app 10 times a day. But almost none of them know the 5 specific net worth milestones that actually determine whether they will be free or whether they will be working until the day they die. This is Knox, and on this channel, we turn complicated money moves into simple, repeatable systems. If you are serious about building real wealth, hit that like button right now and subscribe, because I am about to show you the exact 5 numbers that separate people who retire early from people who never retire at all. Some of these milestones might surprise you. One of them, most people skip completely, and it might be the most important one on this list. Let's get into it. Milestone 1. 0. The net worth zero line. Before we talk about getting rich, we have to talk about getting even. Milestone number 1 is the number 0. This is the moment your net worth crosses from negative to positive. It sounds small, it sounds almost embarrassing to call this a milestone, but I am telling you, this is one of the hardest lines you will ever cross, and almost nobody talks about it. Here is why it matters so much. Most people start their financial life in the negative. Student loans, credit card debt, a car loan, maybe medical bills. Your net worth is not 0 when you graduate or start your first job. It is often deeply negative. You could be making $80,000 a year and still have a net worth of negative $40,000 because your debts outweigh what you own. Crossing 0 means your assets, your cash, your investments, your retirement accounts finally outweigh your liabilities. And psychologically, this is massive. This is the moment the game changes from digging out of a hole to building a tower. Every dollar after this point compounds upward instead of just canceling out debt. The mistake people make here is ignoring this milestone entirely. They jump straight to comparing themselves to millionaires on the internet, feel behind, and give up. Do not do that. If you are at negative net worth right now, your entire focus should be attacking high-interest debt and getting to 0. That is the whole game at this stage. Not investing aggressively, not chasing side hustles for the thrill of it, just getting to 0 as fast as possible. Once you cross this line, you unlock the next milestone, and this is where the real momentum starts. Milestone 2. $100,000. This is the milestone that changes everything, and if you remember one number from this entire video, remember this one. $100,000 in net worth is widely considered the hardest milestone to hit and also the most powerful because of what happens after it. Here is the math that explains why. Let's say you are earning a conservative 7% average annual return on your investments. At $100,000, your money is earning about $7,000 a year without you lifting a finger. That is often more than most people save in an entire year through their own contributions. This is the point where your money starts working as hard as you do. Charlie Munger, the legendary investor, once said that the first $100,000 is a bitch, but you have to do it. And he was right. Getting from 0 to 100,000 is almost entirely about discipline, saving aggressively, cutting unnecessary expenses, and avoiding lifestyle inflation. There is no shortcut. No investment strategy will save you if you are not first building the habit of consistently putting money away. But here is the encouraging part. Going from 100,000 to 200,000 takes noticeably less time than going from 0 to 100,000, assuming your savings rate stays the same. Why? Because compound growth is now doing real, visible work alongside your contributions. This is the snowball effect everyone talks about, and $100,000 is where the snowball actually starts rolling downhill on its own. If you are anywhere below this number right now, your entire strategy should be maximizing your savings rate. Automate your investments, cut your biggest 3 expenses, and treat this milestone like a mission. Everything gets easier after this point. Milestone 3. 1 times your annual income. Milestone number 3 is reaching a net worth equal to 1 full year of your income. If you make $60,000 a year, this milestone is $60,000 in net worth. If you make $150,000 a year, this milestone is $150,000 in net worth. This number is popular among financial planners because it scales with your life. It does not matter if you are a teacher or a surgeon. This milestone adjusts to your actual lifestyle and earning power, which makes it one of the most personalized benchmarks on this entire list. Why does this milestone matter so much? Because it is often used as a checkpoint for retirement readiness. Many retirement planning models suggest that by age 30, you should have around 1 times your income saved, by 40, 3 times, by 50, 6 times, and by retirement age, somewhere around 10 to 12 times your annual income. Whether or not you hit those exact numbers by those exact ages is far less important than understanding the ratio itself, net worth relative to income, not net worth as some random fixed number. This milestone is powerful because it forces you to stop comparing yourself to strangers on the internet with different salaries, different cities, and different life circumstances, and instead measure your progress against your own income. A software engineer making $200,000 a year and a nurse making $75,000 a year are playing completely different games, and this milestone respects that. If you want to track this one, it is simple. Take your net worth, divide it by your gross annual income. If the number you get is 1 or higher, you have hit this milestone. If it is below 1, that is your next target, and there is no judgment in that, just a clear number to work toward. Milestone 4, Coast FI, the milestone almost nobody talks about. This is the milestone I promised you at the beginning, the one most people skip completely, and honestly, it might be the most life-changing one on this entire list. It is called Coast FI, short for Coast Financial Independence. Here is what it means. Coast FI is the point where the money you have already invested, without adding a single additional dollar, will grow on its own through compound interest to a full retirement number by a traditional retirement age. In other words, if you hit Coast FI at age 35, you could theoretically stop contributing to retirement accounts entirely and just let compound growth do the rest of the work until you are 65. Why does this milestone matter so much? Because it fundamentally changes your relationship with work. Once you hit Coast FI, you no longer need your current job to fund your retirement. You could take a lower-paying job you actually enjoy. You could go part-time. You could start a business with real risk involved because your future is already secured by money sitting in the market, quietly growing. Let's put real numbers on this so it clicks. Let's say you want to retire with $2 million at age 65, and you are currently 35 years old, which gives you 30 years of growth ahead of you. Assuming a 7% average annual return, you would need roughly $263,000 invested today to hit that $2 million number in 30 years, without adding another cent. That means somebody sitting on $263,000 in retirement accounts at 35 years old has already won the retirement game, even if they never save another dollar for retirement again. Most people have no idea they are this close because nobody ever taught them this milestone exists. This is why Coast FI deserves way more attention than it gets. It is not about being rich right now. It is about buying back your freedom of choice for the next several decades of your life. Milestone 5, Financial Independence, 25 times your annual expenses. The final milestone is the big one, full financial independence, sometimes just called FI. This is the number most people picture when they daydream about never working again. The most widely used formula for this comes from something called the 4% rule. The math works like this. Take your annual expenses, not your income, your expenses, and multiply that number by 25. If you spend $40,000 a year to live comfortably, your financial independence number is $1 million. If you spend $80,000 a year, your number is $2 million. The logic behind this is that historically, a diversified portfolio can support a 4% annual withdrawal rate without running out of money over a typical 30-year retirement, adjusting that withdrawal slightly for inflation each year. Some more conservative planners now use a 3.5% rule instead, which would mean multiplying your expenses by roughly 28 or 29 instead of 25, just to build in a bigger safety margin. Here is the most important mental shift with this milestone. Notice that this number is based on expenses, not income. This means there are 2 ways to reach financial independence faster. 1. Increase your income and investing rate. 2. Lower your annual expenses. Most personal finance content only focuses on the first option, earn more, but the second option is often faster and more controllable. Someone who needs $40,000 a year to live reaches financial independence with half the nest egg required by someone who needs $80,000 a year, regardless of how much either of them earns. This is also why so many people in the financial independence community focus heavily on reducing their cost of living, because every dollar you cut from your annual expenses reduces your financial independence target by $25. Cut $1,000 a year in expenses permanently, and you have just lowered the finish line by $25,000. Reaching this milestone means work becomes fully optional, not "I hope to retire someday." Optional, today, right now. That is the milestone everybody is chasing, whether they know the specific number or not. So let's bring this all together. Milestone 1. Crossing zero, moving from debt into positive net worth. Milestone 2. $100,000, the hardest number to hit, and the one that makes everything after it easier. Milestone 3. 1 times your annual income, a personalized checkpoint that scales to your exact life. Milestone 4. Coast FI, the hidden milestone that quietly buys back your freedom decades before traditional retirement. And Milestone 5. 25 times your annual expenses, full financial independence, the finish line itself. Here is your action step. Do not try to calculate all 5 of these tonight and get overwhelmed. Figure out which one milestone you are closest to right now and put all of your focus there, one milestone at a time. That is how every single person who has ever reached full financial independence actually got there. If this video gave you a clearer picture of where you actually stand financially, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and let me know in the comments which milestone you are working toward right now. This is Knox, and I will see you in the next one.